All right, everybody. How is it going? Now, I will get a. I do have to say this. The more that we talk about the uh, the LA riots and what these people are standing for, and this no kings bullshit that so many people are talking about. First of all, no one proclaimed such a thing, not to my knowledge. But we got to understand here that are living at a time that a lot of people do not know what in the world they are defending. They're defending something a lot worse when they are being requested uh, not to be how should I say this? They don't want to let go of certain workers. You know what I'm talking about. And we all know that the commies and the blue state in the blue area people absolutely want to cry about the working man and not being paid as much, but at the same time they want they're the ones who are crying about affordability, but also that's it's just that's what's keeping things affordable is something that is absolutely illegal these days. And I'm not talking about just the immigration, but something that got abolished centuries ago. Let's check this out here, because this is freaking ridiculous.
If you deport illegal immigrants, who's going to clean your toilet? What was that? Was that Kelly Osbourne, I guess?
So many just like these people, I swear to God, want to say how awful others are, yet they do not. A lot of people who want to advocate for convenience and luxury, they don't. At the end of the day, they don't know what the fuck they're voting for or saying, or what repercussions take place in certain so many freaking things, and it's just freaking aggravating here, man. It's sad. It's very freaking it's very sad what people advocate for just so that way their lives can be convenient, but they don't want to do the work.
Democrats, believe them when they tell you who they are. We've got more. They can't seem to stop because this is the truth. They're telling you what they want. They want second-class citizens. They want slaves. The Democrats historically want slaves. Then they want slaves now. That's the point. We don't. Those of us on this side of whatever this conflict is just want to work hard, succeed, be granted the fruits of our labor. Now, the left claims, as they say, that we're for
meritocracy. That's what we what ultimately people want to be, is a meritocracy. But we do have a kind of a subculture of people, or a certain amount of people, that don't want that. They want their luxury, they want their lifestyle, and they want nothing to do with living a certain kind of life. They don't want a meritocracy. They want like a kind of like inheritance. They want to inherit. They don't want to work.
For the workers. We believe that everyone should get what they've earned. And they don't actually say it. They say to each according to their need, from each according to their abilities, meaning you'll work as hard as you can and get only what you need. That's the truth about what they want. We now got this from the Post-Millennial. Democrat lawmakers support illegal immigration to prop up wealthy American lifestyles.
It is worth pointing out to our viewers that the unrest in the Los Angeles area is primarily happening in one square mile in a
Oh boy. Let me read this for you, see it better.
Out to our viewers that the unrest in the Los Angeles area is primarily happening in 1 square mile in a 500 square mile city. So
it's not a case, not a magnet, but everyone's putting it on their phone. Celebrities don't get cases for their phones. They get.
What's your response to Trump's claims? Does it track with the reality on the ground?
Absolutely not. And good morning. It's really unfortunate that this is the kind of political and violent talk that is coming out of the president of the United States. Look, what this is a full-on assault on the democracy of the country, on our Constitution. The state of California.
That is just buzzwords right now.
And the city of Los Angeles have a right to be able to monitor their own incidents and handle their own incidents. By the president inserting the military into what is a domestic, a local issue. And the reason why, let's not forget why we are having problems in Los Angeles right now. Those problems came due to the large scale and violent confrontations, ICE agents in our community with migrant workers. We cannot.
What does this sound like? Migrant workers. We cannot give up our migrant workers. I know it says in both the titles, but people are saying how the parties switched. Meanwhile, who really puts all that talk? Who speaks like they did? Like those people back in the South. This is what then people in the South, what they spoke for and advocated for. This is exactly their exact talking points before the proclamation. Yeah.
Forget.
Emancipation Proclamation. That's what it is. By a Republican president. The first Republican president, as a matter of fact, and arguably one of the most iconic ones of them all. And he freed him. Old Abraham Lincoln.
Who the people are that the president is attacking.
Don't do it.
These are the people that are our child care providers. These are the people that are cleaning our hotel rooms where these ICE agents, by the way, are staying. These are the people that are cooking our food. These are our nurses. These are our teachers, our school principals. So we have to look at the humanity of the people that the president is utilizing as a political prop to
You can't be serious. We need to look at the humanity. But who's gonna wash my toilet? Who's gonna do the farming that I can't do as I'm in my freaking AC corner office? As I'm sitting on my behind, who's gonna cook? Who's gonna clean? I don't want to sound like a sexist here, but traditionally that's what a certain spouse was for. So that way and it's like, and then they're all like saying, oh well, but that was so that way that the woman doesn't have to be a slave to her husband. It's like, I mean, okay, so in order not to be a slave to your husband, you want to be a slave to corporate. You want to be a slave to the government. You also want to have you could be part of an organization that hires slaves as opposed to just you know what? How empathic. How freaking empathic for that movement. God.
Attack the politics of a state.
Oh, they can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. But who will clean our toilets, they say? I'll do it. I clean my toilet sometimes. Usually I don't. We have this is going to blow your mind, everybody.
It just comes to show how lazy these people are. That's all they are. That's why they need that kind of labor, because they're too freaking lazy to spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes cleaning something. They don't want to do the clean. They want to be served. Okay. Whatever.
Democrats, check this out. We have cleaning services here. Actually, the carpet's all here. They're all clean. Americans. Can you believe it? I know. Shocking, right? It's actually, Americans are actually okay with working, doing jobs. Surprising, huh?
That we are at least people who are trying to get into the workforce or who want to make money, and I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of modern day socialists and commies who don't want to work, who just want to sit around and just like milk off of the fruits of people's labor. And there are just some people who get an accomplishment high, you know, who want to wake up, who want to work and help pay the bills and feed their families. That's exactly what a lot of what there are lots of people who do that. But guess what? That's going to mean, especially for a tax-paying citizen, hey, I need to pay my bills, so you need to cough it up. You know, and the fact that you stupid motherfuckers are parroting the exact talking points of the Confederacy is fucking disgusting. Let's not forget that this that this is the party that cries about equity. They cry about how their ancestors were slaves, all of that stuff, you name it. They cry, bitch, and moan, and cry for their empathy and for your empathy, and sometimes they say that they're empathic and we're doing this for the beneficiary, and it's so bad. Oh, but I wouldn't do this. That's what we have these other people for. You're right. Orange is the new black. If you know what I'm saying, but that's not what, but I'm not talking about that freaking context. But yes, you're right. You are right. Orange is the new black. And I'm not talking about the orange man, all right? I'm talking about just these people have no fucking sense in their heads. And we have Celestia. Welcome aboard. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Doing all right. So they want to say that the party switched. Well, apparently we actually have Democrats bitching about the deportations about this, because their argument is who's going to do the blue collar work, who's going to do the cleaning and the farming and doing all this other labor. And it's basically the exact talking points as the Confederacy.
Hmm.
Well, think of it.
My.
Well, let's
Yeah, what do we do for food? We get our food made by Americans. You know, to be fair, there were ICE raids out by us.
And it's so hilarious is how they still want to bring in more and more immigrants for a better world. Yet I gotta say, they don't want to pay the workers. The white workers. There are tons of job openings and stuff like that. But at the same time, at the end of the day, who's getting the jobs? They're
It's like IHOP and some other restaurants, I guess, were illegally.
Well,
they
what I
had
was-
people working there.
Oh, continue.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I remember. I mean, I'm far from being a teenager now, but even as a teen, I used to be told, or at least whenever this got brought up, I used to be told, well, you know, they do all the jobs that Americans don't want to do. So kind of like, you know, and I would stop and think about it like, yeah, you know, who wants to do a lot of, you know, I mean, especially the place where I was, which was Santa Cruz, which is, you know, pretty affluent. You don't realize it when you're young, but in hindsight and when you travel, you recognize that, you know, yeah, I live in a pretty affluent area. So yeah, I can imagine the people around here would not want to do, you know, what's considered labor, physical labor. But however, you know, there's other parts of the country where people are not as affluent, and they're happy to take any job they can. I mean, yes, they have to make a livable wage, but they're happy to do it if they could, you know, do it, you know, because it beats being unemployed for many people.
Oh yeah,
Or on
absolutely.
welfare or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but also that's what you have young. I will say this.
Or yeah, you have college students or high school students that would.
That's where I was. That's that's where I was
Mhm.
going, because let me tell you this. When I was when I was working at the pumpkin patch. This was like 1 or 2 years ago.
Mhm.
One of the reasons, I mean, yes, I mean, they didn't call me back because of my attention deficit, but and she outright spelt that out. But she also was hiring a lot of high school students.
Oh,
She was
interesting.
she would like 14, 15,
Mhm.
17-year-old kids, maybe a couple of college students. And I'm like saying, you know what? Who's going to clean your this and who's going to clean your that? It's like high school and middle schoolers who don't have any freaking job or life experience. And
Mhm.
you don't need to pay, you can pay them minimum wage. You don't need to pay them top dollar because they have,
Mhm.
but they're just getting their lives going.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just getting started.
I did
I mean, like,
jobs. Yeah, at
yeah, I was a
12,
I was a
13 13, like I babysat. I did, I helped clean and babysat. My grandma always had, when I lived with her, she was always having me do chores. Like, it was just second nature to me. I didn't really think about it, but I learned later that wow, a lot of people um that was growing up with didn't do the amount of chores I did. But when my grandma was growing up, and probably when my parents were growing up, I mean, they were used to doing that. I mean, there were kids around me, it's like their parents had them do chores, and they would, earn an allowance or something. And with me, I wasn't being paid to do it, but it was just like, okay, well, I need this done. And then, we'll go to Jack in the Box or something, and that was kind of like my prize or
Well,
whatever,
yeah, your
that was
low
a big deal
reward.
for me at the time. Um, but my grandma had me do all kinds of stuff, like, you
Oh
know, uh,
yeah,
but that was
people.
normal, like, and actually it
That's
was
I.
good
I
because you
was. I.
develop a work ethic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was always when I was a kid, classic one. You help set the table. You
hmm
help help with the dishes. Help with the groceries. Help with how should I say what is I didn't really help out with the laundry all that much. Maybe I did, but it never got to me. I'm still
hmm
getting the hang of it.
Right.
Washing machines are a lot more advanced than when they were when I was a child. Um, yeah, I mean, like even just like basic stuff,
hmm Yeah, I
just
was doing laundry middle school. That was pretty typical of me. And I
I
was
had.
sweeping. I was like, I remember cleaning up, and my grandma had a pretty big front yard, and I would like sweep and, throw away a lot of the trash or debris from the yard, and, or even I remember this one project she had me do, like, not just me, but, multiple people. But my friend freaked out about it and thought it was abusive, and it really wasn't, though. I think she overreacted,
Well, you
it was
want.
just like, yeah, like trimming like bushes and all that stuff. Like, yeah, no, she had me do a lot of stuff, but honestly, I don't think it was a bad thing for me. I think it was actually, it, like I said, it taught me a work ethic, and I think that kids are missing out on that now. Like, they're kind of on their butts a lot. I mean, not that they don't have activities and stuff that they do, but yeah, I don't know. I think it was actually good for kids to grow up, having chores and having knowing what it is to earn something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Mhm.
call me crazy, but when I was in Indiana, I shoveled snow and
Mhm.
mowed yards for
Yeah.
as seasonal work. Uh, I didn't, and that was hard, especially getting up and being all layered in like 6 layers of clothing. You go to go to work. Oh, it was
Mhm.
hell, especially when you had to like kind of like scrape off the ice from the freaking stairs and shit.
Yeah. I
So no, no, but the thing is that there's this kind of like there's a high, there's an accomplishment high in working.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I guess there's a modern day that there's this stigma that you're a slave if you do hard physical labor. But it's like, but then it's like, well, here's the thing though. The ones who learn these chores and
Mhm.
learn this labor, end up being the most the legit strong and independent minded people. Like
Yeah.
they are very self-sufficient,
Yeah.
you
I mean,
know.
I didn't do handiwork and stuff. I never really
Oh
do
no.
that kind of thing, which I wish I did learn that. There are some women who do. I do know women that can work on cars. I never learned to do that, but
Yeah, but I mean, I think
my
I but
my nieces know because their dad taught them. They grew up poor, like they were dirt poor, as you know. I mean, but they, he did have a knowledge of that kind of thing, and he passed it on to his daughters, and so they're self-sufficient in that way, and they know how to farm, and grow things if they need to, and you know.
I think gardening and farming, in my opinion,
Mhm.
is basic. A lot of people, and not basic, not and I'm not saying that in a
There's work in it. Yeah,
it
you got to be
I'm not,
consistent and
but I'm not
yeah.
saying that it's beneath me. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is that it's a basic. I shouldn't say basic. I should say
Mhm.
more so essential, because it all starts
Mhm.
off with planting a seed, but the thing is that there's also a science behind it, one, and two, you need to it actually helps feed life.
Mhm.
It helps feed people. I mean, I learned gardening. I think we learned gardening. I sure learned gardening at the age of like 4 or 5 years old in kindergarten. You
Mhm.
know, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
When you start learning like basic on just even how to plant a sunflower.
Yeah.
It's nothing, it's just like the most bare bones thing to raise. It just takes water. But if you start
And
well,
sunlight. Yeah.
yeah, sunlight, water, but then but if you start doing more like tomatoes, which I got into high school, like
Mhm.
agroecology and farming and stuff like that, um, it's a lot more complicated. It's a lot more hard work, but it is, but there's also this accomplishment in high saying that you actually made food. There's this, I don't know what is it with people thinking that there's a bad stigma about, oh my god, I have to get up and I actually have to get up and cook. I actually have to get up and chop things up, and you pull the celery out of the grass. That's
Well,
I
if you
can't.
never had to do something and
Well, that's what the grocery store is. Oh my god, I can't afford any freaking groceries. Eggs are too expensive. Why are there? Where can I get eggs? Well, you can get a chicken for like 25 bucks. I don't want to raise that.
yeah, people get spoiled. Yeah. They don't.
Ew, chickens are gross. It's like, okay, and
God, I'd
yeah,
love to. I mean, I do live in a place where I could do all that. I mean, but it's a matter of people here wanting that or, wanting to deal with that. And, you know, yeah.
it's I understand, but I mean,
I mean, I would if it was just me. I mean, right now I'm kind of limited, obviously, because I'm still waiting to heal. So I can't really do a lot of things. But, when I'm active, when I'm like when I'm feeling good and, my body's, um, when I have mobility, I mean, I love doing that shit. It's like
oh, it
it's
is
very
refreshing.
therapeutic. Yeah.
You gotta, and let me tell you this, if and this is absolutely I think essential. But
Hmm.
if you end up getting a chicken coop with, like, even if it's 3 chickens, you need, in my opinion, it is so great to have a rooster. It's like, because no joke, um you don't need an alarm clock. It'll wake you up like 5 in the morning sharp.
Yeah.
Like at sunrise when you
I
when
actually like the sounds of, roosters and things like that. Yeah. I mean, I guess not everyone's into it, they don't want to deal with it, but I kind of find it, I find it very therapeutic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got it's I know this is going to be a side thing, and we're getting a little off topic here, but I do want to
Mhm.
but I remember the first time I owned a rooster. I was living in Greece for 7th grade. My mom was homeschooling me in Greece in 7th grade. We had and so I was doing it all with family.
Mhm.
And we this was like this must have been like too early. Yeah, no, it was towards the end. I was about to leave, I suppose. So what happened was that we got this rooster. And he was really beautiful, and he bulky and golden, and he was we
Mm.
named him Heracles or Hercules. I did,
Mm.
and he did not crow. And for the longest time, he wasn't crowing, and he crowed when his first crow was when we had to get up for the lighting of the torch. And Heracles was actually the founder of the Olympics.
Whoa, that's a
So
trip.
so I mean, I'm not joking. And his crow was strong and loud. Like that, like when that emulate that I just did was him. Like it was a loud, and I didn't, and was not crowing prior to that day, and it was the day to go wake up from the lighting of the torch. It was like, and he crowed like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning,
Whoa, that's amazing.
and I'm like saying, I did not.
Aw.
Oh man, and don't. Oh, he was awesome. He was my favorite. He's my favorite rooster of all of them.
Wow.
I've seen so many roosters. But he's definitely my favorite.
That's cool.
Oh man, but no, they will wake you up, man. It's like I get it. Shut up, Heracles. Shut up. Oh, I get it.
That's
Like,
so neat. That is so neat. Wow.
yeah, but I mean, like, but no, I did not expect that. You could, I think the uncle that I adopted it from said that he didn't even crow yet. That
Damn,
was his first crow,
that is amazing.
and that was man, that was crazy. I'm like saying that's freaking iconic. I didn't
That
mean.
is.
You could not make that up, and
No.
I'm not making that up. I'm not.
No, I believe you.
It's. But roosters will do that. They'll wake you up. Even they're like that special alarm clock to get up and start your day. 4:30. Not 4. Sometimes 4:30, but usually 5:30 in the morning. So, and sometimes could be like 4:30, 4:45. You can
Right.
just to get everything ready.
There who are illegal. And I'm at my wit's end.
In just the last 7 days, 8,368 men have clicked the link on one of our ads that you've probably seen on the internet.
I'm at my wit's end, ladies and gentlemen. They say, who's going to clean our toilets? Who's going to make our food? Who's going to deliver our food? Well, it's not going to be illegal immigrants. Yo, I pay every time I DoorDash $30 tip unless a percentage base is higher. But DoorDash usually, it's really weird. If we do a big order for the office and it's like $500, yeah, like we got 30 people, we're going to do a big order. It's going to be like $500. It reduces the tip percentage way down to make sure you're only giving $15. No matter what we're ordering, I always give $30 to the person doing the delivery because
Wow.
I don't got time to do it. And I it's a rough job. It's not the hardest job in the world, but it's tedious. Here's what grinds my gears. I order, and it'll say like, Bill's delivering your food.
In all honesty, I wish I had Tim's grind, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And then some
I'm not a workaholic. I can be like that, but I'm building my way up to it. I just had health issues my entire life, but I can't in all seriousness, I cannot always fall on that.
Yeah.
You're
doing what you can,
with what I can, with
Yeah.
what I have and what I know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
guy pulls up, and ain't Bill.
And by the way, audience, if you catch on that, that's all you can do. Just do your best, even if your best is not the best, and you can climb your way up there. There's
Yeah.
always time for improvement. Just keep fighting. Unfortunately, that's the problem with what we have today. Not enough people are fighters. They don't even want to fight their own battles and their own inner demons, their own problems. They don't want problems. But unfortunately, problems are inevitable. And when you're not suitable for, when you're not in any position to face a problem, well then, I don't know.
And he says something like,
And I'm not saying that everybody needs to know how to solve every single problem in their life. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking about even the slightest bit of a problem. Stop running away and stop coping. You have to. It's not fun. I get it, but
Right.
you want to know what's not fun. Even less. You want to know what's even less fun. Being seen as something or somebody that's useless.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will agree.
So tell me, audience, do you want to be seen as somebody who's a useless loser, or do you want to be someone who's a champion? I mean,
It's pretty much a no-brainer. It should be.
Unfortunately, they would prefer to be pleased instead of respected. Because pleasure, I mean, like it is a good feeling. Hedonism, consumerism, all that kind of stuff is absolutely is absolutely addictive.
Mhm.
And it is very. I honestly do believe you do need a tad bit of hedonism. Yes, you do need some pleasure,
Oh,
but
yeah.
But
Well, life is supposed to be enjoyable as much as it is a school here, but it's meant to be enjoyed too.
oh, absolutely, yeah. But I'm saying not every
You just don't want to abuse it. Yeah.
not every class is recess. Okay, not every session is recess. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
some people are on a vacation here. I really think this lifetime is a vacation for some people. Not everybody, but for certain people, I think there's a percentage. It's a very small percentage, but this is a vacation life for them. This is not really a quote unquote hard life for them. And not that they don't have their pain or their fair share of it, but some people really, have it pretty easy relative to a lot of people on the planet.
Yeah, I mean, and this is and when you have it pretty easy, you talk stupid shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bill was busy. I'm his brother. I'm like, We had some lady come by. I'll change the name. I mean, not that it really matters. There's first names anyway. But I ordered food. Some woman shows up, and we got security here. And I was just like, no. What is this? I'm done with this scam that they do. They'll get someone to sign up for DoorDash, and then they'll give their account to an illegal immigrant, and then the illegal immigrant does the job, and the other person gets paid like a small amount of money for it. I'm tired of the scam. So I told DoorDash, I said no more. Anybody shows up if they aren't.
Wow, I have not DoorDash for like almost 10 years. It's been that long. I haven't DoorDash for quite a while.
Yeah, it's very rare for me. The only reason I'll do it is if there's no other option. But
if it's a
always
last
shop for my
resort,
food, and I always, unless I'm going out with friends, I mean, I prepare my food at home.
yeah. But according to these people, that's oppressive. You've got internalized misogyny there.
Well, when you're part of the privileged class, I mean, you could pay people to do everything for you, but
Very
that's
few.
just not most of us.
Yeah.
Are not the person on the account, we're going to check their IDs. Otherwise, we're rejecting the food. So we did delivery the other day, and a guy was none too happy. But it was the guy. His name matched the account. And we said, okay, listen, okay, we don't take food from strangers. These Democrats, these are disgusting people. Undocumented immigrants make up the majority of labor-intensive jobs. So what? Young people should be doing it. They have been gutting and ripping into this country
Yeah. Grades 7 to 11, 7 to 12 are perfect for jobs like this.
Oh yeah.
shreds.
Yeah.
And I'm over it. Look at this one. Uh-oh. What's this one?
These mass deportations are going to help out real Americans.
All right, check this shit out. Immigrants are essential to the backbone of our economy. Mass deportations and cruel policies against hardworking families don't make us safer or stronger. They weaken us. What does that sound like? Kind of sounds like a Confederate talking point. And I might have spoiled it.
Right?
Then I'm gonna stop you right.
Wait. I'm gonna play. I want. Here we go.
Going to help out real Americans, right?
Then I'm gonna stop you right there. First off, if watching families being ripped apart does not appeal to your humanity, let me try and appeal to you financially. Because
Okay, I'm gonna pause right there. I don't care if you have kids. When you break the law, we don't send the kids to jail with you. Bye.
Mr. Wonderful here. My friend Howard Marks is the co-founder of Activision, the gaming giant that was just acquired for an impressive $68.7 billion. Now Howard and I have teamed up on his latest company,
these mass ICE deportations are bad for the economy.
Don't care.
So while undocumented immigrants actually make up a really small portion of the overall.
This is the issue. The ideology of these people is antithetical to a cohesive society. If you don't care about families being ripped apart, then let's talk about finance. Okay, let me say this. Families being ripped apart happens literally any time the family member commits a crime. Okay?
How many urban families have been ripped apart just without the deportation shit?
Oh no, I remember, I mean, this is probably not a pleasant thing to share, but I'll just say there was people in my family who were going at it right in front of me, and I did call 911. And then one of my family members, I guess there's a judge that brought up an old case up, and between the combination of what was going on and that old case, they actually handcuffed him right in front of us and took him to jail. And I remember I was screaming at the cop that night. But yeah.
If a dad robs a liquor store to pay for his, how about this? A guy and his buddy, they rob a bank. Oh, no. They rob a wrestling arena and promoter and steal his money. And he runs out and he shoots a guy trying to steal his car on accident. It was an accident, as it turns out. Doesn't matter. That's robbery. Okay. That's murder. And guess what? He did it because his daughter was sick and dying. Okay. Yeah. He needed the money because his daughter was dying. Too bad. You go to jail, but you're ripping the family apart. I don't care. Look, don't go shoot.
You took that fucking risk is the thing.
Yeah.
Anyone who does this kind of fucking, you're either this stupid or you're that fucking gullible.
Yeah.
You know the fucking risks. If you do something illegal, it doesn't even need to be illegal. Even if you gamble, which some parts are illegal and some areas are illegal. If you gamble, you know what the fuck you're doing. You know that there's a decent chance that you're not going to see that $100 back.
Yeah.
But you coughed it up in the hopes of making like $500,000. You still lost $100.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I thought that I was gonna win the lottery. It's like, oh, just like everybody else out there. I'm not saying place your bets, but if you want to throw, if you got an extra $100 to spare to throw at the lottery, you fucking have at it. If you but I mean, but you know what the repercussions are. You know that there's a risk of nothing coming out of it. So you can't say poor me when you lost something that you gambled. That's what people need to understand, what these fucking lib shits need to understand. Whenever these people are crossing the border, they're gambling. They're gambling with their lives and their families. And I'm like saying, okay, you can absolutely, why gamble though? You can abso-fucking-lutely come here the right way. Is it gonna take another like 5-10 years? Sure. It's not gonna be an overnight process like it is coming out the fucking back door. But there's gonna be merit, respect, and no one's gonna and true freedom, which so that way you won't be risking being deported. You wouldn't risk that. But they pay their taxes. Doesn't fucking matter. You committed a crime. You're not here legally. And you are crying that you're basically a slave to the system. You're fighting to be a slave. That's how fucking demented you people are. That's disgusting.
People, man, don't go rob people. And then you're like, but let's talk about finance. There are things that matter more than money. These people don't get it. They're psycho-cultist degenerates. I'm sick of it.
Workforce, they are overrepresented in jobs that you do not want.
Lies! Lies, lies, lies.
Really? I'd like a job. even a little one. Like, I don't care if I have to do housekeeping. I mean,
Oh my
what?
God, that reminds me. I remember, wasn't last year, but almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, a friend of mine had a compound fracture on one of her legs, and she was down for months, and my practice was really slow, like it was practically dead. So she hired me to work for her, and I was doing everything that they would pay, somebody from who came here from a foreign country, whether it's South Central America or Tonga or any place like that. I was doing those jobs and I was fine with it. Like, I actually enjoyed it. Plus, she's an awesome person. I mean, she was pleasant to work for. I mean, I understand not everybody is easy to work for because there's some assholes out there, but she was an absolute angel to me, and I actually enjoyed it. Like, it was, I even looked forward to it. It was a lot of fun, and I didn't, I mean, yes, I felt it at the end of the day. It was work, but it wasn't like, I wasn't,
It was
I
rewarding.
resented. I was fine. Like, I enjoyed what I did, and I
But
enjoyed,
the
especially that I did it for her, and I didn't charge her an insane amount of money. I just, because I don't want to do that to her. I mean, I know her, so you know, but I enjoyed it. Like, it was actually kind of fun for me. But yeah,
but
I
the
cleaned, I shopped, I helped prepare meals. Not, I didn't do anything elaborate, but I would help her cook sometimes. On certain occasions, mostly her and her family handled the cooking, so I didn't really have to do that part. But no, I helped prepare some meals or go get it, or and I definitely cleaned her house. Anything she asked me to do, I did. I dropped stuff. I did the errands and everything, and it was fine. Like, it was fun, actually. I'm not saying every situation is or will be like that, but in my case, like, I didn't have a problem doing that. In fact, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who will take on labor
Mhm.
jobs and labor jobs that like that.
Mhm.
These jobs that you do not want, like what is she talking about? Is she talking about a housekeeper or a therapist, a caretaker? Those are
Mhm.
if anything, I'm not gonna lie, those are very honorable jobs.
I think, oh yeah, absolutely. No, I have a lot of, I mean, there are situations, like, especially as a caregiver, where you're taking on, you're helping people that are paraplegic, and that wasn't.
You're essentially a nurse.
Hmm. And or they have they're stroke survivors, so or they have cancer, so there are much bigger, and especially if they're elderly over a certain age. Now, that's hard, that's tough. So
Yeah.
I commend anyone. I have a friend that does that, and that's tough. That's
But those are needed. Those are
it
needed.
is,
You got
yeah. And I think there's a lot of people that um would gladly do that if they had the opportunity, right place, right time, and if they had, I
I
mean,
mean, heck, dog sitting.
yeah,
I signed up for Rover, and I'm okay with going to a house and staying there, taking care of the house and taking care of other people's pets.
yeah, it's
You
actually
know,
kind of nice. Like, some of them are kind of nice. I mean, some of those jobs can be hard, and can be
oh yeah,
very
it can.
laborious, but but I mean, why do we go to the gym? It's like, I know construction workers, they're not really at the gym, but it's like they don't need to be because they
Oh no,
physical
they're
labor do that with on their jobs, you know. It's to the gym is to make up for those things, really, you know, for the lifting and the, you know, all
oh
the activity.
yeah. If you're not working in construction, if you're not doing roofing, if you're
Mhm.
not working in lumber or
Mm.
anything like that,
Yeah.
then yeah, you're or yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, that's what the gym is for. It's to emulate those
Oh
those
yeah,
things.
for sure.
You know, and when I was doing that pumpkin patch job, it was hard labor. I was hauling rubble, like raking rubble, and landscaping, and even landscaping when you do that kind of stuff. That's not easy. Landscaping is not easy to do.
No.
It's hell, actually. But it is and it is a workout.
Some people enjoy it though, you know, it depends. But yeah.
I don't mind. I think it depends on which area of landscaping you have me do, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind doing stuff that has to do this is going to sound really weird. I don't mind doing stuff that has to do with soil, like plants or even wood.
Mhm.
Anything that
Therapeutic, yeah.
but if I have to do something like with rubble or cement, then I don't really like doing that. But I don't mind carrying the same weight and doing the same movements if I'm doing something that has to do with nature. Then I absolutely love it. I love doing it. I love farming, to be honest.
Yeah.
These people can't even grow a freaking flower if they wanted to.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, fortunately today, I mean, there's instructional videos online to learn to do certain things, but I know if you're anything like me, you really need that hands-on and that, you know, I mean, not to grow a flower, but you know, just to do mechanical stuff. Like I would really have to have someone guide me through that. That would be, I don't know that I could just watch a video and get it. I mean, I'd like to think I could, but you know, me being me, it's like I would need someone to guide me through.
Yeah, I'm the same way. But what I'm
Mhm.
saying is that these people want the most out of life, yet they can't do a basic task,
Mhm.
like the least basic task, and they can't do it right at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know why why people ask these days to be treated like a certain way, and yet they do not offer anything in return. And that goes from even as friends, male or female.
Mhm.
The famous moment when during the first Trump administration, they raided a bunch of meat processing plants, deported like 700 people. The next day, the media was shocked to find a bunch of young white Americans applying for the jobs. And they asked this young white man, why do you want to work in a chicken processing plant? Nobody wants that job. And he said, it pays more than the gas station.
Wow.
Things that have little benefits, long hours, backbreaking work with no pay. For example,
Okay, so you're saying that we as wealthy Americans should have second-class slave labor that can't vote to get paid pennies on the dollar outside of government regulation? These people are evil. This lady is evil. I am sick of this stuff.
42% of the agricultural workforce.
These are Democrats and Democratic talking points, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
23% of the construction workforce are undocumented. And let's be real, these are self-reported numbers. So
they can't vote, they get no benefits, they get paid garbage, and that's what you want because you people want slavery, and I don't.
Those are probably light. But the short of it all is that the food that you eat and the home that you live in was was probably brought to you by someone who is an immigrant.
You're right. This country was built by slaves.
The Made in America for Americans tagline, yeah, it's actually made by immigrants. Not only are these mass ICE deportations going to result in a tax revenue loss of over $1 trillion every single year,
Confederates.
get ready to wait longer at your favorite neighborhood restaurant. You're going to see a shortage in Uber and Lyft drivers.
I am not exaggerating when I say 1-for-1. This is the argument of the Confederacy as to why they wanted slavery. People who couldn't vote.
How to kill all mosquitoes in the area in just minutes. This simple but brilliant trick you can do tonight to eliminate all.
How?
There,
People who.
Yeah. How?
No, I was
How-
gonna
Oh.
say that aren't a lot of people saying that AI is going to take over all those things anyway? I mean, I know it's not going to happen tomorrow, probably not even next year, but isn't that what the trajectory is? I remember when I was working for Lyft, and there's a guy I was talking to saying that,
here's
you
the
know,
thing.
well, there's a guy I was talking to. He was saying, you know, we got to do all these things because, you know, before AI does it, because AI is going to be doing all these jobs, you know that. And it's like, yeah.
Well,
you know,
here's
that's
and this
years
is the
ago.
problem.
Like,
This
yeah.
this is the problem with
Like
having
20
AI though. Yes, it is going to make things a lot more affordable on paper, but this is what these fucking dipshit libtards do not understand. When you kick everybody out of the job market and everything is replaced by AI, guess what? You don't have a civilization. You don't have a country.
Yeah, it worries me.
You okay?
You know,
So you want to know what the trajectory if AI does this? I'm not saying that AI should replace, but if it goes rampant in the way that you're saying, the United States, they're not going to have any fucking civilians because they need to feed their and second of all,
well, okay. This is assuming the whole NESARA GESARA thing, and I can't promise you whether that's going to happen or not. I mean, I'm hopeful for a lot of that. I don't know if
oh
it's
yeah, me too.
exactly as they say, but you know, because one of the arguments or one of the concerns is if everybody is, you know, has all this money overnight, whether they're like if they become millionaires overnight, no one's going to go to work, no one's going to want to work. So, you know, society would collapse if that happened for everybody due to NESARA GESARA. But I guess some are saying that that potentially AI will take over a lot of that labor, you know, so we can enjoy ourselves. And, you know, I don't know what that's going to look like or how that's
Well,
going to
yeah, but the thing,
or
but here's
not,
the thing,
you know.
though. People need to understand that this is what humans are programmed to do. We are programmed for certain jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say,
Yeah, I don't like the thought of that or the sound of that. I mean,
no, let me tell you this, because trust me, they're gonna go. This is what's gonna happen, though. If that gets carried away too much, we're at a time where even people are moving to different countries to find certain work and certain jobs and stuff.
mm-hmm.
They're going overseas for that. So which tells me that if this AI goes rampant, everybody's going to run all the way to undeveloped countries. They're going to go, trust me, they're going to go to Bangladesh, they're going to go to freaking Congo, they're going to go to all the shitty countries.
But they may not be shitty countries anymore.
No, not after that. Not after that. Because you know, they're going to be the white colonizer is going to take over.
I don't know. I mean,
but but the thing is that people want to be needed, and they need some sort of resources and purpose. And whenever all your purpose is done from just being from doing like not doing things, but if your whole purpose is replaced by a machine, then of course you're gonna go bounce to somewhere where it's not as developed.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is going to
No, I didn't
be
say I agree with it or I'm for it.
no.
Just, you know, the talk in town or some of the assumptions, but you know.
People need to be scared of that. People need to be scared of that. And a lot of Republican and red areas are.
Yeah.
They know what this shit entails.
Or what could happen and transpire. Yeah. I mean, some of it I would like the med beds, you know, there's got to be some kind of AI.
The AI, that kind of stuff. Let me tell you this.
It's
if AI
technology, but there's got to be an AI built in. It's a you know, like a quantum computer. You know, quantum computer. I mean, that would be AI. So, you know, there are some things. It's just inevitable, but yeah, I don't want them to do everything or to replace humans. No.
No, but let me tell you this. If you were to tell me that AI replaced the pharmaceutical or the medical certain medical practices, I would say awesome, because there's some doctors out there who are beyond fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So no, there are
certain things, but when it comes to art and stuff, like I don't want to see that happen, you know, because you clearly have to have a soul to do art, to do any kind of creativity or healing. Anything that involves healing, anything that involves a channeling spirit, you know, that absolutely has to come from an organic, sentient being.
Unfortunately, they're already touching on that. They already have those holographic concerts.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like, that is AI on steroids.
Yeah, no, some of that stuff's not good, like the whole metaverse and all that. That's like, stay away from that.
There is a legit metaverse. They're just fucking appropriating it now.
Yeah.
The metaverse is not what is not gluing your Oculus goggles onto your face and being in touch like that. That's the Matrix. That's not the metaverse.
Mm-hmm. Or they're yeah. Anyway.
Who are they had no free will of their own. Don't get me wrong, illegal immigrants do. But they say, these people are making your food. They're picking your cotton. All of the things that you enjoy, it's being produced by these slaves. What's the problem? We don't want slavery. So when she says the illegal immigrants who get no representation, no benefits, no pay, and can't vote, she's saying she wants slaves.
Delivery order people, and you are going to see prices for meat, seafood, dairy, and produce all go up at your...
The literal argument for slavery, the literal, same one-for-one argument. I can't stand these people. But if you get rid of slavery, things will become more expensive. Sure, that's what they kept arguing.
Grocery store. If you are not deeply disturbed watching unidentifiable masked officers throw hardworking people into unmarked vans, I plead with you to assess why that might be. And ultimately, if you still can't...
That's just called law enforcement. I've watched gangbangers get arrested too, thrown into unmarked vans by police in Chicago who are undercover. And?
Come up with a reason to care. I ask you to be selfish and know that what is bad for these people you don't seem to care about is also bad for you.
They don't get it. because these people are amoral degenerates who want to watch your country burn. They want slaves, and they want no law enforcement. They want criminals running rampant. They want women getting raped and murdered because they're psychotic degenerates. There's no arguing with a person. When you see the argument she's making, and you all know that appeals to not a single moderate to conservative individual. In fact, many liberals are going to be like, yeah, I'm not okay with that. But they can't fathom it, because what she's really saying is, here's why I want these things. I want second-class citizens to perform work for me for no benefits and low pay. I don't. I always pay more. I always tip really, really, really well. But these people are amoral degenerates, and I'm done with it. Whatever. I'm going to wrap it up there. Smash the like button, share the show.
That is disturbing.
Yeah. I
How
just
do you-
think a lot of these people have been sheltered, and they really haven't been in the real world, you know. They're brainwashed, you know, and especially if they're young, you know, that's just kind of how I see it. It's unfortunate, but they're just being taught wrong, you know. I
This is
understand
why
but they don't really know what's going on. That's the thing. They see this as being cruel and inhumane, but they're not really looking at the big picture and the situation, and they're almost being taught not to, you know. It's very sad.
Oh yeah, they are being programmed not to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is just disgusting, but I mean, I gotta say, one of the things that I've realized that a lot of people, how should I say this? How should I say this? Do you remember that phrase that we spoke about, like the love of money is the root of all evil? I don't think that. I think that's the love of convenience. The love of comfort is the root of all evil.
Mm-hmm.
If you always want to be comfortable and not grow, and because how can you grow, how can you develop, can you evolve if you're always stuck in this one area, stuck in this way of thinking, stuck in this way of so many just convenience?
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think it's just that people self-sabotage or don't even know what's going on just because they prefer convenience?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it comes at what expense, man? Well, I don't want to do it. Well, who's gonna do it? Oh my God, this is too. You're gonna
Yeah. I'm gonna actually cut my time early.
No.
Because I need to attend to something, and
No worries. I was planning on cutting it like 10 minutes ago, anyways.
But thank you so much for having me on, and yeah, it was interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, we'll touch on the EBS and LA riots next week, everyone, or not next week, but Wednesday. All right. See you later.